Yeah. So now in continuation, we were doing some cases on defense of contempt of court. One important judgment on defense was left over. That was Supreme Court Bar Association. Now the Supreme Court Bar Association is a very important judgment. Reason being, this judgment is by constitutional bench. And I suppose you understand the basic difference between any cases decided by constitutional benches and other benches. Now, constitutional bench means minimum 5 judges bench of Supreme Court of India. So, it all the cases which we have been doing, either they were by 2 judges or special judge 3 judges bench. This is the first judgment we'll be doing, which is decided by 5 judges bench. Now, this is just for reference. It is on page. It starts from of your. You must always refer to the 2020 case material, because that is all in the soft copy available on the net also at the Law Center 1 Faculty of Law. You can download, because there so many new cases have been added this year only. So you need to focus on those new cases also, and time and again I'll be emphasizing you what are the new cases while I'm discussing the particular topics. This case has already been there, but this gets a significance because there is one judgment which I'll be dealing with is a 2019 judgment also. Therein this case has been also relied. So this is 174. It starts from punishment for contempt, Supreme Court Bar Association versus Union of India. So it is not on defenses, rather it is punishment for contempt. Punishment deals with section 12 and 10 read together. 12 is precisely the punishment. Now this judgment, Supreme Court Bar Association versus Union of India, is a very peculiar kind of a case. This primarily this is not filed by the appellants or the party concerned. This is filed by the Supreme Court Bar Association. The secretary took over this issue and he files it. The concern here is primarily there was a judgment by 3 judges bench wherein the case was Binay Kumar Mishra. Now in that case, the Supreme Court by 3 judges bench had punished him for contempt of court. This was from the state of UP. He was an advocate. So the primary allegations against this advocate was he was using abusive languages against the judges, and he had done all scandalous acts, lowering down the authority of the court. He did not behave in a proper way. While the court was being conducted by a revenue officer, he parts derogatory remarks and he threatened also. He used all abusive languages. Now, Vinay Kumar Mishra's case reached to Supreme Court in appeal. Therein, Supreme Court also punished him with contempt of court. Now, along with contempt of court, the basic punishment is definitely the maximum punishment as contemplated in Contempt of Court Act is 6 months and maximum 2,000 rupees as a penalty. He was given 6 months punishment for imprisonment because it was a criminal contempt. Along with that, invoking Article 129 and 142 of the Constitution of India, the Supreme Court also debarred him from practice for 3 years. Now, this particular decision became the bone of contention. So, primarily the punishment was given, and Binay Kumar Mishra, he did not challenge. Rather, since the Supreme Court punished him for something which may not be, they have the jurisdiction or they have the authority to punish, because while explaining the Bar Council of Advocates Act, etc., I have explained you the purview of Bar Council, what powers they enjoy, what powers they have. And Bar Advocates Act is an independent act passed by legislation, and section 34 primarily we are discussing about. Therein they have been given power to conduct the disciplinary proceedings for professional misconduct. Now, debarring an advocate is primarily punishing him or striking his name from the rolls of advocate is again a disciplinary proceedings. So there is a independent statute, Advocates Act. There is a provision of section 34 which deals with professional misconduct, and similar punishment is being given by Supreme Court also. Supreme Court, I told you, has a power, independent power also under Article 129. 129, Supreme Court being a court of record, has been given power to investigate upon Contempt of Court Act. It can set its own procedure, it can investigate upon, it can summon any document. So entirely the discretion lies with the Supreme Court to conduct any case for its own contempt. Similar rights have been given to High Court under Article 215 also. So they are being court of records. They are authorized to conduct proceedings for contempt. And there is a Contempt of Court Act also. Contempt of Court Act also empowers the High Court or Supreme Court to conduct contempt proceedings and punish them. Now, there is no, conflicting views of these two provisions. One is a constitutional provision, powers given by Constitution to Supreme Court, and the other is an act which is also passed by Parliament, so that also authorizes Supreme Court and High Court to punish for its contempts. So two statutes cannot remain in practice which are conflicting. So definitely they are not conflicting, but the issue comes down for legal discussion is when there is Article 129. Now, does 129 Parliament, the Constitution is also made by parliamentarians. The Constituent Assembly was there, laws were made, Constitution was framed. So powers are given again so as to keep the things in order. Nobody should commit contempt of orders or disobey the orders. That is why these original powers have been given to High Court and Supreme Court, not to subordinate courts. But somehow under Article 129, it is nowhere defined what punishment and how much punishment can be given. But it says punishment for contempt can be given. So then where do we trace that how much punishment can be given and what punishments are there? So they have to, while exercising Article 129 or 215 also, the court has to basically come down to the basic provision of Contempt of Court Act, that is section 12. Now section 12 says it is only maximum 6 months or fine of 2,000 rupees. Now if that is the only punishment prescribed for contempt, then in what capacity Supreme Court in Binay Kumar Mishra's case punished him and took a disciplinary, punished him for disciplinary proceedings. That is, they debarred him his practices for 3 years and suspending his licenses for 3 years, that he would not be practicing before the court. Now that is the main bone of contention and that is the legal issue. I'll streamline this issue. Primarily the issue is when the Supreme Court has Article 129, Supreme Court also has an Article 142. Now what is 142? 142 is primarily while in the discourse of justice, to give complete justice, Supreme Court can pass any decree, any judgment, any orders if the cause relates to a particular matter which is before the court. Now, in order to give full justice, complete justice, the Supreme Court can pass orders relating to the cause before it. Primarily, that is the basic meaning of Article 142. Now, Article 142 is a very wide power given to Supreme Court only, not to High Courts and any other courts. In a way, we sometimes say under Article 142, while exercising 142, Supreme Court makes the law also. If there is a law deficient, if there is no law on the land, no law with respect to some of the transactions is passed by the Parliament, then such orders are passed which acts as a law till the law is framed. But the key point here under Article 142, once you read at your own, is for good cause, and the cause should be before the court. Now, the question here, coming back to our issue, because that's a very wide power. 129 also, Supreme Court enjoys a wider power for punishing for contempt of court. Now, Article 129, 142 and Contempt of Court Act read together, the question survives for our discussion is whether the Supreme Court can pass an order for professional misconduct while interpreting 129 or 142 or Contempt of Courts Act. Does power lies before the Supreme Court to punish a lawyer for debarring him from practice for 3 years or taking any actions for professional misconduct? Because professional misconduct is defined under Advocates Act. There is a provision also in what mechanism the Advocates Act has framed entire rules, that how disciplinary committee will be formed. Prima facie, if there is any complaint of professional misconduct, it would be sent to the Bar Council of the state. They will form a disciplinary committee. If disciplinary committee gets convinced, then it would be a notice would be sent to the lawyer, so causing him to reply that how you have committed a professional misconduct. Then the disciplinary committee would refer it to a particular committee of lawyers, and they would decide. Once that decision comes from the Bar Council, if the lawyer is still aggrieved, then they may go into appeal before Bar Council of India, and Bar Council of India again decides by giving full opportunity. Entire liberty is there to defend the case to the advocate. Now, then if still you are dissatisfied, then you can appeal to Supreme Court against the order of Bar Council of India under Section 38 of the Advocates Act. So there is, in a way, the purpose of discussing. I have already discussed these provisions while discussing. Yeah.
Sir, is it 38 or 34?
34 is primarily the misconduct. Professional. 38 is appeal to Supreme Court.
Okay.
38 is appeal to Supreme Court. I was discussing how it starts. It starts from a complaint given to the State Bar Council, then appeal goes to Bar Council of India. Still the lawyer is aggrieved, then they may approach to Supreme Court under Section 38. 34 is the criteria on what basis the professional misconduct shall be decided. So primarily misconduct is defined under 34. Now, so there is the purpose of discussing these provisions in brief, and that has also already been discussed in detail before the class also, that a comprehensive act is there. Now that act is also passed by Parliament, and that act is a separate act. So, and when this act came into, how this act, Advocates Act, came into the history, that is in 1961 after independence it came. The history also we have traced. I have discussed the historical background, that in what way committee was formed, and the entire powers from High Court were taken to and given to Advocates Act, that is the Bar Council, through an act. So initially it was even disciplinary actions were being taken by High Courts. Now the disciplinary action by no means can be taken by High Court or Supreme Court. Disciplinary action against an advocate has to be taken in all cases by Advocates Act, by the Bar Council of State or Bar Council of India. So for that purpose the law was made, and that law is still prevailing. And definitely there is, separation. What was the purpose? See, the purpose was very noble. If the judges are given power to punish advocates, now the advocates, they argue cases each and every day before the courts, and if they have a kind of apprehension that if I say something wrong, that wrong, the degree cannot be decided. But if I'm against the judge wants me to argue this and I'm arguing something else, no, judge may feel defended. And the same judge, if he is given an authority to punish me, then I will never be arguing before him without any fear in my mind. And if I argue a case with fear in my mind, definitely I'm not doing justice, because my preamble, the Advocates Act, the Bar Council of India rules and regulations clearly say that out of no fear I have to argue, without fearlessly, that there has not to be indirect fairness or anything of that kind. If I am arguing, being an advocate before a court, any advocate who argues out of threat, then definitely he would not be in a position to present his case properly, and maybe that justice is not rendered. So immediately, if the judge has to take disciplinary action against me, so the very purpose of advocacy would be futile. Now, this was the objective why the powers are directly not given to the courts. Rather, the power is given to because Bar Council is also a separate body, an independent body, a statutory body. All powers are given by the parliamentarians. A law has been made how the disciplinary proceedings shall be conducted. Now, knowing well the entire law, in what capacity, the question, we come back to this case, Supreme Court Bar Association, because I am primarily discussing the legal provisions so that you can appreciate these provisions have been discussed in the your judgment also, and even in the introductory part of the Advocates Act I have discussed these provisions. Now the question, the legal question which again comes before us, punishing for 6 months as per, because I told you 129 is there which gives a automatic power to Supreme Court to take suo moto action on the contempt of court, but 129 does not define a punishment. So maximum punishment is 6 months as per section 12 of the Contempt of Court Act. Now Supreme Court, while exercising the contempt of court, in this case, Vinay's case also, they could have punished him for 6 months imprisonment, that they have done so. Now in addition to that, when they say that we debar him his license for practices for 3 years, now under what law, under what authority? And if the Supreme Court or the High Court judge has also to decide the disciplinary proceedings against the advocates, then what is the purpose of having Advocates Act, or what is the purpose of having section 34? Now this issue was taken very seriously by Supreme Court Bar Association, and Supreme Court Bar Association through that time the Mr. Sibbal was the arguing for this case, and Mr. Nariman also appeared at times. So this was filed by the Secretary, Supreme Court Bar Association, and the sole issue was to be decided, since the Vinay Mishra's case was decided by 3 judges bench, and 3 judges bench, they punished him for 6 months for contempt of court. To the extent of contempt of court, there was no resilient, there was no objection to the Bar Association of Supreme Court. However, the reservation was that by invoking 129 and Article 142, read with the Contempt of Court Act section 12, the advocates cannot be punished, no disciplinary proceedings can be conducted. Their licenses cannot be cancelled or they cannot be suspended. No disciplinary action can be taken by Supreme Court. Despite having such a wider power of Article 142, wherein it is supposed the Supreme Court can make laws also, despite having the provisions of 129, despite having the Contempt of Court Act, maximum punishment is 6 months and 2,000 rupees, but no disciplinary action can be taken. That was the basic case of Supreme Court Bar Association. So entirely issue was whether exercising Article 142, 129, read with Contempt of Court provisions, the Supreme Court is empowered, to suspend the license or cancel the license of an advocate. Now there are 2 issues. One thing is you stop an advocate from coming to the court, because even in R.K. Anand's case, if you remember, I discussed that the lawyers, 2 senior lawyers, the initial punishment given was that they would not appear for 3-4 months before the High Court and the lower courts. Now, for a time being, obstructing them from appearance is one aspect. Suspending the license, because see, if you ask an advocate not to appear, now advocate has to do so many things. He has to appear in the court. While when you have a license, you are authorized to do many things. You can give a consultation sitting in the chambers. You can draft a petition sitting in your chambers. You can conduct a seminar, give a lecture, etc. So an advocate has to perform many activities. He is not confined only to appearances. And when a High Court obstructs, passes an order that you would not appear because you have committed a contempt, so only appearance is restricted. That is a partial restriction on the professional rights of an advocate. But when a license is suspended or when a license is terminated, or when the name of an advocate is entirely taken from the rolls of the Bar Council of a state. So that is something which is a disciplinary action on his license, on his permanency, on permanent license itself. Now, there are many judgments through in the on contempt of court issues itself, wherein it has been said that in the Arkanan's case also that aspect came into, that the High Court could not have passed order for obstructing them from, asking them not to come before the court. So, doesn't matter if somebody is taking a fake name, etc. Now, so now coming back to our discussion. Now, in the Arkanan's also case, that issue came into that under 34 of Advocates Act, there is a power given to High Court to make rules. And now under that rule, if they find that continuously an advocate is committing in contempt, because what happens, an advocate, let's say, commits a contempt in a particular case, he is fined with 1,000 rupees or he is fined with 2,000 rupees, maybe punishment or no punishment. Now he pays the money and he again does not stop his activities. So there are apprehensions that this will give a bad name to the system and he may be restricted not to come to the court. So judgments, there are so many judgments, they say that High Courts can make rules under 34 itself that they may stop an advocate coming from the court for a short period of time. And then it is distinguished that stopping an advocate from appearances and suspending his license are two different things. Now, suspension of license is something which is permanent. Therein you stop an advocate not only from appearance, you stop him from giving any consultancy, drafting any petition, meeting any clients, or giving any sort of consultancy, or conducting any seminar or anything which relates. Because stopping from appearance is just a restriction to manage the court proceedings, so that if he repeats it, because a contemner, the 1,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees may not be a big fine. So he abuses a judge, he pays the fine, again he starts abusing, or he locks down the court, or whatever indiscipline he wants to do, he carries on with that. So in order to that in future immediately some measure has to be taken. If somebody is really not under control, then he should be stopped from coming to the court. Now that is the purpose. Or he's out of the court, he's passing slogans, or he's trying to disrespect a judge, etc. So from the campus of the court, he may be restrained from coming. And now that is permissible, and that may not be said to be taking any professional misconduct judgments under 34. So that is within the domain of the Supreme Court or the High Court under its rules. So that permission has been given. In case of R.K. Anand's case also, the court said, Supreme Court, that although this power is there, they can make their rules, but since in this particular case, High Court of Delhi had not made the rule. So even if it has not made the rules, but we can ask them to make rules within 4 months. So direction was passed to all those high courts who have not made rules to regulate the business of courts. If they have to stop the appearances of some advocates, etc., that can be done. Now that is very fine, to the extent of stopping them from not coming to the court for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, but no permanency. So they may be stopped not to come, but then they can do all other job without coming to the court, consultancy and drafting, etc., etc. But the core issue in this case was whether the Supreme Court passed terminating his licenses for 3 years, was that justifiable, was that legal? So if you see, from both the sides, the arguments are advanced, and finally it was since the judgment of Vinay Mishra was 3 judges bench, it was referred for 5 judges. So 5 judges bench of the Constitutional Bench, they considered the matter and they decided that yes, the autonomy, it is an autonomous body, it is a statutory body, Parliament has given its powers, and we do not want to keep the disciplinary proceedings by any means under the purview of the Supreme Court or High Court judges. It is the work of the Bar Council. And Bar Council has been given independent power, and there are different mechanisms, rules, regulations. Exhaustive provisions have been given how to conduct the cases, there are appellate provisions also. So entire law relating to professional misconduct, it's a sufficient law. There is a statute of 61, and primarily they agreed that it has to be once the professional misconduct has to be decided, it is a disciplinary proceeding, and it bars all the activities of a lawyer. So then it has to be by the concerned body only, not by the Supreme Court. Yes, if under section 38 of the Advocates Act, if appeal is filed to the Supreme Court, then the things are open to Supreme Court to say anything, but not before that. Now this was under only Contempt of Court Act. So even 142 and 129, the court said really they have a very wider power. But while this is, when you say that whether they can pass any order under 142, now 142 says any cause relating to that matter is before the court. Now in this case, it was seen whether cause of professional misconduct was there to be considered before the court. When they were considering Vinay Mishra's case, whether there was an issue that whether he has committed a professional misconduct. No, that issue was not there. The issue was whether contempt has been committed. So within the bounds of contempt law, you will decide. That issue is not there, and 142 comes into scenario if a cause is before the Supreme Court. Now you need to understand, in many cases, there may be overlapping. That is, the act is an offense as per professional misconduct and as per 34 of Advocates Act. It may be an act contemptuous also. Now if there is a overlapping, then also whether Supreme Court is authorized to pass an order on misconduct, because misconduct powers have not, it is not within the purview of Contempt of Court. Contempt of Court provision nowhere decides or have any authority to take professional misconduct of a lawyer under any one of the sections of Contempt of Court Act. So even if it is overlapping, they would only decide as per the definition given in section 2, whether it is a disobedience of the order, willful disobedience is there, undertaking is there, whether authority is being interfered, or whether any disparaging words are being spoken or scandalous acts are being done also. So within the bounds of that definition, it has to be seen. Yes, might be the instance of disparaging whether the instance of disparaging, defamation, or disrespectful or disobedience, or interfering with the course of justice or disturbing the course of justice, it may amount to be a case of professional misconduct also. But for that, Supreme Court at that stage is not authorized to take some provisions which is not before them and it is there defined in some other act. So 142 does not allow to cross the statutes, and if that is so, then there is no purpose of giving any powers or orders, any authority to any other act. It is only Supreme Court and Constitution. Let the entire things be done by Supreme Court only. So they restrained themselves and they said, yes, there is an independent act and separation of powers ought to be there. Everybody is separate. The Bar Council is separate. It's a separate entity. There is a full-fledged law to be abided by. And the purpose I told you, that for them the governing body ought to be their own members, and then fearlessly an advocate can practice in the court of law. If we take all these authorities, then it may be that they will not serve the country, serve the judiciary in a proper mechanism. So independence of the bodies must. Separation is already there, independence is there, they have their own governing body, etc. Self-governing has to be motivated. So on that aspect, the Supreme Court restrained, and it said no, in no case the Supreme Court is authorized to take disciplinary action against an advocate. They can pass for contempt. They can ask them not to join court proceedings for 1 month, 2 months temporarily. But as per their licenses are concerned, they cannot suspend. As per their disciplinary actions are concerned, they cannot do so. So as to manage the business of the court, immediate step may be taken, wherein if they find that this advocate may be contemptuous repeatedly, they can stop him, they can ask him not to come before that court and superior courts, which is within the high court, etc. But they cannot ask that you will not appear before any country of the any of the courts of the country, or your licenses cannot be suspended by any means. No disciplinary action can be taken. The only action can be taken is the punishment, stopping for joining the court proceedings for some time. That too, if rules have been made by the particular High Court and Supreme Court, definitely under 129. So this was a good judgment, appreciated judgment. They restrained themselves, and this judgment is quoted most often in many of these cases, because this is a 5 judges bench decision, constitutional bench decision. So entirely this you would find reference of this Supreme Court Bar Association's case in almost most of the cases they have been discussed on contempt of court, because reference have been taken. Now one issue was very short issue in this case also, whether while Supreme Court is taking contempt, cognizance of contempt cases, especially against advocate on records, then whether they can struck their names from the rolls, because as per advocates are concerned, the Supreme Court can definitely not decide and struck down their names from the rolls. And while they are exercising contempt, while they are exercising the appellate under 38, which has come from Bar Council of India, they may definitely do so in an appellate provision, but not under contempt of court. And that would come only after the advocate starts from Bar Council of a state, then he goes to Bar Council of India, he's aggrieved, then he comes under appeal, but not under contempt of courts act. So primarily the powers are different. Statute gives it a power to Bar Council only. So Bar Council will exercise all disciplinary proceedings. Now, whether advocate on record, now who makes the advocate on record? The issue of advocate on records, can they be, their names may be struck down from the rolls. Now, any advocate who has practiced before the Supreme Court for 4 years and who has practiced 1 year before any advocate on record, he may appear in the exam and he may become an advocate. Now, making advocate on record is by Supreme Court, not by Bar Council of India. So first he should be an advocate. He qualifies an exam after having a training of 4 years. Within 4 years, 3 years before any court and 1 year practice before an advocate on record. If he has such experience, he can take an exam. If he qualifies, Supreme Court registry will make him an advocate on record. They are primarily in charge for filing of the cases. The purpose is because the Vivek Tiwari, can you please upload all the, okay, we'll upload after the lectures are over. Somebody is asking, sir, can you upload the lectures? Yes. Yeah, please.
Sir, for what purposes rules should be made out by the High Court or Supreme Court?
For what purposes? Come again.
Yes, sir. Sir, earlier you have mentioned na ki Supreme Court or High Court should make some rules or regulations.
Okay. No, High Court, see, 129 gives a suo motu power to Supreme Court for punish for contempt of courts. 215 also gives High Court a power. Now, High Court is given a ancillary power, because all powers with respect to contempt are in Contempt of Court Act. Articles, they provide them provisions, suo motu, they can also initiate proceedings. But in that article, there is no rules, regulations, procedure laid down categorically what they can do and what way the contempt of court proceeding has to be conducted and what way punishment has to be given. So there is no procedure, there is no proper laid down punishment, etc. So primarily while exercising 129 or 215 by High Court, they come down to Contempt of Court Act itself. Now, in the Contempt of Court Act, definitely it relates to all contempts. There is nothing to regulate the business of an advocate. If the advocate commits a contempt, he is also a contemner, but he can be punished only for punishment of 6 months or 2,000. That's the maximum punishment. Now, whether the question comes, he can be restricted not to come to the court. So after making of the,
cannot be done.
Yes, I'm coming to that. Now, whether while passing these within the confines of Contempt of Court Act, there is no provision that you can stop an advocate even if he is committing contempt. So after making of this contempt of court in 1971, this was made. Some rules were to be framed. Supreme Court in few cases said that if a advocate is committing contempt and he's punished, he pays the fine, still he continues. Let us say he's abusing a judge. He's fined, he pays the fine. Again, he shouts slogans out of the court, or he abuses, or he whatever indiscipline he does. So is it not advisable that immediately at least stop him from coming to the court? Now, if if they go as per Contempt of Court Act, then they have to allow him to abuse, they have to allow him to come to the court. And they can maximum request the Bar Council of India, please conduct a disciplinary proceedings. Now, Bar Council has a full-fledged mechanism. I told you, a notice shall be given, notice shall be served, he will reply. It will take time to punish him. Now, but he immediately has to be stopped. So, looking at this urgency, it was said by Supreme Court that all high courts should have a power to make rules. Supreme Court recommended definitely it will be by the Parliament, they will allow you. So 34, under 34, they were allowed to make rules, all high courts. And that is how they have made a rule that immediately they can stop their entry. Again, so as to protect the judicial system, because if the advocate or the contemptuous person is not stopped immediately, then it may cause a big loss to the justice system, and that cannot be compensated. And you say that courts have no rights. So under that rule, High Court empowers itself under 34. Now under 34, that power has been given. So 34 was amended by the Parliament, and a power has been given to the High Courts. Now that power also will be discussing in the next case. So that powers, that is again a limited power. That power, while exercising that power, the question is, while exercising that power, can you take any permanent disciplinary action against an advocate? The answer is no. That is only temporary, to stop him from coming for a very temporary period of time, but no disciplinary full-fledged action can be taken. For that, you have to request the Bar Council, either whether it is a Supreme Court or the High Court. Supreme Court in this case said that if you have to take the disciplinary action, request the Bar Council of India, they'll conduct the proceedings. Till that time, you can only stop him from not coming to the court. So I told you, stopping a person from coming to the court is one part only. If you don't come to the court, still you can do your legal works. But once your licenses are suspended, then you may not be allowed to do